Hi there. This is the method for doing the Junior Cert question on the Junior Cert paper. It is question 6 and it carries 20 marks, which you should be able to get very easily if you follow this method. Now, first of all, the most important thing in any of these composition questions is your preparation, and there are a number of steps to follow. First of all, identify the key of the exercise. Check the key signature, identify the sharps or flats in the key signature, and make sure that all notes named that are affected with this key signature are changed. Do out the magic circle for the key. Now, the magic circle is a little method we use to identify the main chords in a key, and they identify the 3 primary chords or major chords, and when this is done, all the answers with regard to chords in this question will be found in that part. Do out the bass clef in your rough workspace and name the notes on the bass clef. Don't take shortcuts with this. Make sure that you do it out and that you name the notes correctly. First of all, the key. In our example, we have 2 flats. The name of the key is B flat, and the 2 flats are B flat and E flat. When you do out the scale, then the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do of this key, you start on B flat and you get these letters B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. Second part of our preparation is the magic circle. This is what it looks like. You put the 7 notes of your scale around the circle, and then you extract the chords as follows. The first chord will be shown here. It's B flat to D to F, and that will be chord 1, or the do chord. And the second chord then that comes out is F, A, C, E flat. This chord will be the chord of 5 because it's built on F, which is the 5th note of the scale, and it has 4 notes in it. F, A, C is the triad, and E flat is the added 7th. And finally, to create the star shape, our last chord is E flat, G, B flat, which gives us the chord of 4 because it's built on E flat, which is the 4th note of the scale. You can practice this on your own in the different keys. Little template here to show you. You fill in the scale notes for each key and do out the chords using that similar shape. That will be chord 1, that will be chord 5 with the extra 7th, and that will be chord 4. Next, drawing out the bass clef, put in the stave. The bass clef stave is also known as the F clef because it fixes F on the 4th line of the stave. All the other lines then are G, B, D, F and A as shown, and the spaces are A, C, E, G. All cows eat grass. Once you know the position of the notes on the bass clef, it will be very easy to answer the last part of this question. Question A always asks you to name notes on the music that are marked usually with a bracket and an X, something like this. So if we look at the 3 notes under the bracket and name them in the order that they are shown, the answer here, taking account of the key signature, is F, D and B flat. Question B will ask you to name or identify what chord these notes belong to. The answer is always to be found in the magic circle diagram that we did a few screens back. You are given a number of optional answers. The most common one is to use the letter names. For example, the 3 chords you might be shown are F major, G minor, B flat major, and the answer of course would be that they belong to the chord of B flat major. However, you could be asked their tonic salva names, for example the do chord or the la chord or the so chord. And of course we know that in the key of B flat, the B flat major chord would be the do chord because it's built on B flat, which is the do note. We are used to the letter names of the chords, The tonic solfa names go with the names of the notes. So in our magic circle example, chord 1, which is in our example B flat, is the Do chord. Chord 4, which in our example is the chord of E flat, is the Fa chord. And chord 5, which in our example was F, is the So chord. The third part asks you to identify another bar where the same chord or triad also fits the melody. In order for a bar of music to be harmonizable by a chord, it will contain notes belonging to the chord. There may or may not be other notes in the bar as well, but most, if not all, of the notes will be in the chord. Take a look at this example and find which bars contain notes that are the same as our chord of B flat, which contains the notes B flat, D and F. If we look at the first bar, it's B flat, C, D, B flat. 3 of the 4 notes belong to the chord, and if we look at the fourth one, the quaver C, is an added passing note. So chord B flat will fit in bar 1. Bar 2, G, A, B flat, only one note of those fits the chord, so this bar is not suitable. If we look at bar 3, B flat, C, D and F, all 3 notes of the chord are there, and the C, again a quaver, is an added passing note. If we look at bar 4, we see that only half the bar is harmonizable by the chord of B flat, so this is not a suitable bar. So the answer will be bar 1 and bar 3. Fourth question. This is the final part of the question. You'll be asked to identify your triad from a list of triads shown in the bass clef. Using your bass clef diagram, find which triad contains the notes of your triad, B flat, D, F. If we look at triad A, we see that they're on the 3 lines. Triad B, they're on the 3rd, 4th and 5th line, and triad C, 2nd, 3rd and 4th line. Now, triad B is a bit of a trick because it looks like the positions they would be in on the treble clef, but of course this is the bass clef. If, however, we look at the key signature, we see that the first flat is a B flat, so that means B flat must be on the 2nd line in this stave. And if that's the case, then it looks like triad C is the correct answer. So in summary, you must identify the key and name the sharps or flats in the key signature. You must draw out the magic circle for the key to find the 3 major chords. You must do out the notes on the bass stave. Be careful naming the notes. Don't forget the sharps or flats. Watch out for the alternative ways of naming chords, either with letter names or with tonic solfa names. And finally, the chord will harmonize a bar if the notes of the chord are in the bar. Good luck.